Hello and welcome to our live webinar. I am so excited to have you here with us today. I am Jean Berry and I am the Game Inventor Mentor, and I am really thrilled to partner with Karen Joy Fritz today for business planning for your heart, or from your heart and soul. This is the source of it all, right? This is where it's happening, where it's going and everything else. And there's Monica. Yay, so glad you're here. If you're popping on live, go ahead and, give us a little, hey, I'm here, little thing. Otherwise, I don't get to see you. I don't know if you're really here or not. And I would love to know what, oh, today we're going to do a game prompt. See, I was just telling Karen that I've been on some webinars that they ask for, what's the weather in your area or those kind of things. Hi, Angie. But I want to know today, what color is your day today? What color, if your day was a color, what color is it today? That's what I want you to put in the chat. Because, sometimes we can all relate to those beautiful, fabulous colors. So, hi Beth, hi Linda, hi Amanda. So glad that you're here. Yay, popping on in. Okay, so what color is your day today? That's what I want to know in the chat. You can see my day is clearly turquoise. I'm at my son's house and he painted this room. It's actually really a minty green, but on the camera it looks totally full on turquoise. I had on a turquoise shirt. I had to change because I just blended right in. That was it. It was just me and then my name tag and a head. And so we got colors. Okay, we've got purple, light blue, pink, gold, and purple. Yeah. Light blue, more purple. Yeah, I totally get it. You guys are on. That's purple. Perfect. Okay, Karen, I have to know what color your day is too.
I'm I'm feeling like coral and pink, which
Mm,
is not a customary place for me, but I'm kind of liking it.
nice, nice. Hi, Lorelai. Hi, Linda. Hi, Kate. I think I'm seeing most of you. We're just getting ready for everyone to get started as you're popping in, and I've been just asking, what color is your day today? If it's a color, what color is it? So bring it on. So glad you're here with us live today. I am just so excited to have Karen with us here live. I've known Karen actually for a few years. I don't remember how many. And I actually got to know her much better when we worked together as she birthed her fabulous game Path. And Karen has such a wealth of experience and education, and like it just goes on and on and on. You start talking to her and and you did that too, and that, and that, and that, and that too. Wow, it goes on and on. And it's really been a fun journey to hang out with Karen and find out how she truly supports entrepreneurs and how creatives tend to like gravitate to her and say, okay, I know you can help me. They just know, right? We feel each other, right? We feel it in the air, and we know that this is something that we can all work on together. So we've got some more colors. I just have to check. See, we have yellow, orange, pink. Yeah, got some more pink. Green, beautiful. I am so glad you're all here live today. Karen will be asking you some questions. You can use the chat for that. The replay will be up because you guys might actually want that. We actually did make a handout for you. Now, if you don't have the handout and you can't print out, don't run over there to do it. You can absolutely draw it in your journal. Karen will explain it. But I'm going to give you the link here in case you're like, I need the handout, because some people need handouts. So let me get my handout little thing here. And what else do I need to tell you about? Just that I love Karen, and so I'm going to turn this whole thing over to you, and let me just grab that graphic while I'm, okay, there we go. I thought I had it in. Okay, there it is. Okay, so if you really, really, really want the graphic, it is in the chat box as well. And with that, I am going to turn this over to Karen Joy Fritz. Yay!
Thank you so much, Jean. I so appreciate the fun work that we've done together and then to get to share this time together. It's a special treat. And I love the delight that comes out with this playful approach to building the business. And that's one of the real reasons that I love working with creatives. I mean, in addition to I am one, is that there's always this spontaneity. There's always this sense of, yeah, but I don't know what's coming next. And having that novelty in the space feeds me, right? I love it. I love playing in that. And I think it makes it fun for all of us to play. So I'm going to go ahead. You may have guessed I have slides, but I want to make sure that you have a visual to go ahead and go along with what I say. One of my backgrounds is in neuropsych and cognitive, like how you learn. And I know that most people are visual learners, and those who aren't are mostly auditory. And then there are those of us, like me, who are actually kinesthetic learners. And that means taking notes and being able to draw on pictures. So that's why I want to make sure um, if there make sure that there's a way for each person to access it. All right, so Jean, if we could have slides, please.
Coming, coming. There you go.
There we go. Yay. And I got a note from somebody that they didn't have the link in the email. So maybe that might need to go out again.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. So, all right, this slide's just to make sure that the slides are working. That's not information. So when I look at, I'm backing up and settling in. Here's where I want to start. A lot of our lives are spent in work or in the economy, the way that we exchange goods, services, and serve other people. I think that's a pretty important part of life. Therefore, I think that that area of life should be centered and sourced from our soul, from our heart. I think that there's a lot of the economy that does not operate that way right now, but it's kind of dying and falling away. And so it's up to us as the creatives to be bringing in something that's new and emergent to be there when the rest comes away, right? When a snake sheds its skin, the new skin that's more pliable, that has more capacity, is already there underneath. So what I want to make sure is that you and I, we have that new pliable capacity available as this new world is emerging. The way that I quote measure that is to say that, of course, a business has to be sustainable financially, right? If the business isn't supporting itself and supporting your household, it's not really a business, it's a hobby. But it also has to be sustainable energetically, happiness, right? Because if not, you're going to burn out. And we can't afford that. My world includes that unique gift that you're bringing into the marketplace. I can't afford to have you burn out. We can't afford to have some people burning out. That's why sourcing our business strategy and our need for systems from our authentic self is so crucial right now. I've been building this model for quite a while. I see it as an integration of our self, our truest and most authentic self. And I wrote a book on that when I was riding my motorcycle around as a meditation teacher, and that was The Art of Adventure. But only knowing ourselves, I knew I didn't want to be a monk. I wanted to be able to continue to contribute. And my contribution happens to be in this arena of business. Yes, I'm a parent. My sons are now 24 and 26. I adore them. They seem to get along okay with me. We have a great time together. But parenting is not where I'm giving my gift. It's just clearly not the calling. Marriage is not the calling. Health and wellness, like it's important I stay in my body, but that's not my gift. My gift is in business and how to take and have that business strategy match that authenticity of the self. Some people belong in this area. Other people like, no, that's wrong. So how do we find that strategy that matches up with the self? And that's the area in which I developed the game path with Gene and just had a blast doing that so that people can jump out of their intellect for a little bit and go play with different ideas on what else is possible, what else might work, so that it can be a more creative, a more novel approach to business. And then based on that authentic self and the strategy that supports it, what systems actually are going to be needed? Like, don't buy things you don't need. I don't care how good the sale is. If you don't need it, don't buy it. And which ones are going to fit that self, right? Some people are more interested in relationship. Some people are more interested in getting their to-do list done. Both are great. But how do you actually pick the ones that match for you? And that's where my book Purpositivity is focused. So when I look at that combination, those three areas together, I feel like I get that holistic sense of what's going to make my business, your business, sustainable, both financially and energetically. Now, I know sometimes people feel like, oh, business is the bad guy, or we wouldn't want to be capitalists. Well, the truth is, we don't want to be crony capitalists. That's the term that's used in the book Conscious Capitalism. And that describes things like, I'm a capitalist because I can buy politicians to make laws that don't regulate me so that I can exploit the resources. No, that's not what I want to be. But I do want to participate in business as a force for good, knowing that because my ability to contribute is slightly different from your ability to contribute, and somebody else is bringing in something like this is divine diversity. It's important for us to have this marketplace so we can each share what we're good at. I wouldn't want to have to do it all myself. And if I choose to come to it from a philosophy of sovereignty and consent, I only want to work with people who are ready to work on this area. If somebody's not ready, I'm not going to pressure them. It's an invitation. It's not a or else kind of a situation, right? So I can bring a level of compassion into the marketplace that maybe hasn't been seen there before, that elevates it into something that actually is a positive contribution and uplifts all of our individual lives. So here's what I want to know from you. In your business right now, I mean, today's topic is around business planning. Do you have a business plan? Do you already have one? And I mean like written down. If so, why did you bother? And if not, why don't you have one yet? Or why don't you have one at all? So if you
Okay,
could
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
interrupt. Yeah, I'm going to interrupt now because that's an excellent question. And we had some actual, feedback from some of the things that you've been saying so far, which is yes, love is self-generating. I love that kind of piece of it. Yeah. And entrepreneurs can change the world.
Yeah.
Amanda's sharing that exactly. Lorelei, self sovereignty and consent. Yes, like this is really resonating with everyone. So start typing in, do you have a business plan? We started to kind of talk about that in our Facebook group as well this week. You know, do you have one? Some people, and I think there's actually a little bit of shame around this too. You know, like, do you have one or you do not have one or whatever else? It's okay. Whatever you have, like it's workable. We'll figure that out. So I'm sorry I interrupted, but yes, okay. So we have I process, yeah. So Lorelai, I think you had mentioned in the Facebook group that you actually do kind of a visual kind of business planning. Um, and keep commenting. I want to know. I want to know. So I'm going to turn it back here to your PowerPoint, Karen, but we will
Okay.
keep watching for that. Angie says she has a business map. Okay, here we're getting some of them now. Angie says she has a business map with a mission statement and vision to help me see where I'm going. Steve has a business plan. It's non-traditional though. Yes, I bet yours has doodles on it, Steve. I'm gonna guess that. Michelle, no, I'm working on what's next for me, but not quite clear about what I'm offering. Yep. Lois, no, no. And a heck no. But I'm still, Monica, I'm still wanting to change my perception of business so that it doesn't automatically to say working too hard and it's no longer fun. Right.
That's
Yes.
important.
Yep. Amanda, I
Great.
don't have a formal business plan, but I do have a plan for my business. The good distinction. Yep.
That's interesting.
It changes daily. Lorelai says doodles, notes, and glitter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, gotta have the glitter.
I've tried to create one several times, a loose framework, kind of an art journal. I did last year, but it didn't work so well. Yeah, like you guys really, I feel your pain and I feel your joy, like all of that. Like we keep looking for things that are going to work for us. So beautiful. Thanks. Thank you for sharing all of that. All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
perfect. So perfect. Because what I hear most often is no. Just like most people don't have a business. Okay, most people that I work with, right, in this creative entrepreneurial space, this very small business space, they either say, oh, I'm too small to matter. I wouldn't need a whole business plan. Well, probably true. If you're not going for funding, you don't need the 100-page business plan, prove it kind of thing. Ugh. Other people will say, yeah, it's probably a good idea, but I don't know how. And again, I would say, all right, but don't go get the one from the library on how to write a business plan so you can get funding. Those are just way too complicated. And the ones that get me are the spiritual folks who say, oh, that's disgusting. I just want to follow the energy. I just want to be able to spontaneously do whatever spirit tells me to do. And I think we're going to find some interesting intersections today between the consistency of what's behind spirit's impulses and how when we're able to get some of that context in place from spirit, from the soul, then the little nudges make more sense. So first, here's what we're not doing, right? The good old org chart where every single area has its silo and this is what I do and you don't come on my turf and that's outside of my wheelhouse. I'm not taking responsibility, right? So in the past, in very large corporations, each of these, well, other than the CEO, is generally a department full of people. And a lot of times there's competition internally for which department is going to get the funding. So even though in theory, everybody in the corporation is working toward the same vision, they're not. Really, in theory, they're having turf wars and they're kind of competing for attention or for resources or whatever. And it just becomes dysfunctional. For all of us who have been in corporate, and I've done my time, this is what we think about when we think about business and we get that gut clench that, oh, I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get trapped into that. I don't want to have those internal arguments and the office politics, right? When we think of that as business, of course we're going to shy away. That just opens up the floor for the saboteurs. But that's the old kind of business. That's the snake skin that's getting shed. We get to begin now to create what's emergent underneath that is much healthier. So imagine that you could take all of those areas, right? Those things need to happen in a business. But rather than having them fight with each other, what if we start to wrap them around that visionary, which is me, which is you, right? Wrap those around the visionary and actually have a visual of the parts of our business integrated, working together, and actually creating something that is sustainable, that gives us the context to know where our various pieces of attention fit, right? Yes, of course we need a marketing strategy. And what else do we need, right? So this is the beginning of looking at how do I mentally or visually begin to interact with my business in a way that feels good, in a way that draws me forward without that little it in my gut. Here, I'm interacting with something that's holistic. It's integrative. It actually has a healthful system. Now, for me, I like to start pulling those circles in tighter, right? Because when they really start to come together and really interact with that vision in the center, right? The CEO is the visionary. Then it starts to make a new pattern, doesn't it? This should start to look like something that's a little bit more familiar to those of us in the spiritual circles. This starts to look like sacred geometry. So when we have a model for our business that actually speaks to the sacredness within our DNA, the geometry that our soul wants to participate with, our business, it's so much easier to actually have that be an expression of our soul's frequency. And in my world, when all of us are participating at that level, this is what the economy looks like. This is what I'm building as I'm out helping individual entrepreneurs to be more sustainable, to have the integrative aspect of their own business so that it is life-filled, so that it is holistic, but also to start to recognize my business overlaps with your business. This business fills a function that honestly I never want to be able to do. This person provides this other thing that I don't provide, so we can cooperate rather than compete. Here's how it all fits together. So this is the image that I use when I think of my economy, my local economy in my town, my online economy with the people that I want to play with, basically, right? To be in Jean's community. What if this is the economy of this community? And we're each participating from a place of holistic integration and cooperation. So that's kind of my soapbox. When I think about those 7 circles and the sacred geometry that they create, I notice that the number 7 comes up in another way often, and that is as 7 chakras. So, what if, in addition to the 7 chakras, where my soul, I think of it as kind of like the snap in points. It's a start, right? This is where the soul connects into my physical body in the physical realm of form. And each of them provides a unique perspective, a unique part of the equation. Right? I'm guessing that most people in this group have a sense of what the chakras are and what they mean and how they function. But I can also map those into my business. So when I consider that my body, my business has its own soul, its own energetic signature, which comes into the realm of form, right? Because an economy is a realm, then I can look at how do those chakra interpretations align with those functional areas of a business. And they do. It was so cool, right? So it's obvious to think about the marketing as the throat chakra and the CEO. Well, of course, that's going to be the crown chakra. Operations as the third eye, that made good sense. HR, that one surprised me. The heart chakra, I was expecting would be clients. But the truth is, the delivery, the will to give my gift in the world to my clients was the solar plexus. That heart chakra is my care for myself or my team as I grow. And so that actually gave me a different perspective on how to think about that area of my business plan. And then the creative center, right? The sacral chakra is the R&D. What can I create in the world? What else do I want to create in the world? How could I deliver it? What do I need to be able to have in place to deliver that? And then the finance department, or actually making my business be profitable, is the root, right? That's the safety, that's the security that allows me to be sustainable in my business. So, this is an overview of what we're going to be talking about today. And the way we're going to look at it is each of these is a way to know myself. And by knowing myself or my energy of the business, because my business didn't pick somebody else, my business picked me. Our souls are connected, my soul and my business's soul. You can imagine that in any flavor that you want, but it is about me participating as this energetic system into the soul of my business. And I need to really understand why me, why now, those kinds of questions before I'm able to accurately nurture and grow my business out in the world and be known on the outside. Okay. So that's what we're going to look at is each one of these. But I want to check first how this is fitting for people, right? Do these mappings, like, does your sense go, oh, yeah? Or is your inner compass kind of going, wait a minute, what about? So I want to kind of check in since I can't see your faces and have you put in the chat, like, does this model kind of give you a way to be able to think about the areas that are going to show up in planning for a business? And I'm
Beautiful.
going to,
Okay, so we're getting a lot of fabulous feedback, and I don't want to interrupt you in the middle of what you're saying because it's so brilliant. But a lot of like, heck yeah, like this is what's going on. Of course, when we first started, just even putting up the sacred geometry, there was a lot of buzz about, of course, sacred geometry will make this go, or I just want to color now, which is really fun. Of course, you want to color, and this concept of doing all that and working with sacred geometry intensifies all that we do. Everyone does their own magic and we all flow together. Yes. Steve says it reminds him of Zen tangles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chakras. Um, Thinking of Amanda says thinking of your business as its own being is such a cool idea. I've never thought about it that way before. So that's really awesome. And of course, one of the reasons that Karen and I came together on this is because in my game, Angels, Peacocks, and Butterflies, we have a business chakra component as well. And so if you've been playing that game inside of there, you've started to feel into that as well. And we saw this intersection of how we both kind of thought about this idea, and then aligning that into sacred geometry as well is just another cool layer. And I'm loving everything about it. Yeah, a lot of this is resonating. Yep. Yeah, and Beth says actually what throws me off is being a solopreneur for now and filling all those roles, like thinking that I would do all those roles like one body.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And if we in ourselves have preferences, things we prefer to do and things we prefer not to do, it's really easy to just ignore them. And so when we call them out like this, at least we are acknowledging them so that we have a chance to incorporate what we need to do for now and know who we want to bring onto the team, right? Just shoving it off into the shadow doesn't serve us.
beautiful. All right, I'm gonna turn you back here.
Okay, so we're going to talk about each of these, and this is the format we're going to use for each one of them. And there are a lot of words on this slide because some of us are visual and want to read the words, and other people want to listen to the auditory. Either one is fine. You don't have to read the words if that's not your thing. Don't worry about that. If you have downloaded the handout, it kind of looks like that flower of life symbol. And this slide is talking about the crown chakra. I don't know if you see my mouse on there, but this is the crown chakra, which is the equivalent of our CEO. And that is the center circle on the diagram, or I kind of made it into a heart on this one. Nope, you can't see my mouse on that screen. You see my mouse on this screen. There we go. So the creative force, the visionary force of your business, I call it the inspired vision, because I figured if I kept using businessy words, people would tune out. Right? There's that part of us that says, oh yeah, I know what a CEO does. They're greedy. So we don't use the term CEO, we use the vision for our business. And inward, what we need to be aligned with is that vision and purpose and mission. Right? So what is the better world that I'm creating? And in the business plan playbook that I have, there are different diagrams that you play with, colors and shapes, and attach this to that, and no, not that one, move it around over here. So there's a lot of play that can go into it, and there needs to be a sense of what is that vision that I'm a part of. That's my mission. What is it that is my role to play? And so that vision and the purpose and the mission flow together. And to me, flow is a really important word because sometimes things change over time. On this planet, we have time, and that's so that things can change. We call that transformation. Most of us are transformational healers. So that's an important thing, is to recognize, oh, I've been working on this for a while and I'm starting to feel something new emerging. It's time to go back to my business plan and feel into that again so that I stay in relationship with what is emergent. My allegiance is never to some 5-year plan I put in place and I will, by God, get this done. My allegiance is always to staying in relationship, real-time relationship with what is emergent. And that's what the business plan provides me, is a place to capture all that. Not to put it down one and done, but it's more like an ongoing journal or art project that I can put things into, and as I have new ideas, I know where they fit, right? As I start to grow, and now I'm actually building a culture in my business. What are my values? How do I wanna see the operating procedures of my business really celebrate my team members as well as my clients? Why am I doing what I'm doing, and why am I doing it that way, right? So, when I'm looking at this on the inward level, and I get very, very clear, both on I don't know how to say it. It's not just a verbal thing. It is an energy, and it comes out in words, and it comes out in pictures, and it comes out in a feeling in my body. That's what I'm aligning to, and when I recognize that and stay in alignment with it, then when I start talking about visibility, people recognize it when I show up. I engender trust because they can feel that I'm in alignment. My words are in alignment. I have integrity with the images that I choose, right? And so that is how that external visibility is sourced from internally, really, really understanding the question, how would the world change if everyone had the benefit of my work? So if you're taking notes on the little sheet, that's the question that I would write in that center circle. For my inspired vision, how would the world change if everyone had the benefit of my work? Or at least everybody who is in the realm of having that. Not everybody has a small business, but a lot of people want to. All right, so that's the CEO. The second one that comes up, interestingly enough, these are not going in the order of, well, it flows down through my crown and it just comes all the way down in. That's just not the order that it wants to be. I don't ask questions about that. When it tells me, I listen. So the second one that wants to be looked at is the area of succulent indicators. Now, this might have in the past been the finance department. But that's so boring. Who wants to have a finance department? But to look at the succulent indicators that tell me inwardly, what do I need to have in terms of supporting that business entity, right? Part of it is finance, but there's also a lot of energetic support that needs to go in there. What do I need to have in order to support my lifestyle? Well, if I'm having a business of my own, I hope I don't have to also go get a job to support the rest of my life, right? My business needs to support itself and support my lifestyle so that I am sustainable. And these are the indicators that tell me what it's going to take. So it's just a little bit of self honesty. What do I actually need? And what do I want? And what's a wild desire? And is it okay to have that? Yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be sustainable. It's okay to have plenty. The other way that we look at our succulent indicators, what else am I working toward? That's, generally we think about the area of profit. But in this conscious model of business, we also want to look at what are my indicators that I'm living my values around valuing people? How well am I paying my team? How do I celebrate my team? How do I celebrate my clients? How do I participate in my local economy? What philanthropy am I giving back, right? What contribution am I making to the social system in which I live? And even beyond that, how is my business affecting the planet, right? The environment. At least I hope I'm recycling. Am I carbon neutral? Well, I may not be there yet, but it might be one of my succulent indicators to track where I am. If I care, I want to track where I am. And there are other things that are even more subtle. In my day-to-day business operations, what percent aligned with my soul energy do I feel? It's a self-report. It might be high, medium, low. Right? Is it better this year than last year? Is this business initiative more aligned with the truth of who I am? And so we can start to put in some qualitative measures. You don't have to be able to put a number on everything. You can also have qualitative measures in there that tell me, am I on purpose? Am I improving? Am I becoming more sustainable according to my own criteria? And when I know that, guess what happens? The outward visibility is, again, people trust me because I'm set up to stay in business. Nobody wants to take their car to a mechanic who's clearly going to be out of business in a month, right? You want to know that your business partners, your partners in your needs are going to be there for the long haul. So that longevity matters. And longevity happens when we're sustainable, and we're sustainable when we are financially and energetically sustainable. So we need to have indicators for both of those. And you know what happens when we have indicators for both of those and we talk about them? We're now modeling that for other businesses in our community. And we start that ripple, right, of sustainable businesses that are built in a conscious and sustainable way, right? So I generally put this one in the top circle of the diagram as succulent indicators. And if you were going to write down just one question in that circle, I would suggest, how do you build in fulfillment beyond mere finances? That's the new role.
So I want to share what Steve said, which I think is so lovely. This is more lovely than a finance department, which is where I spent most of my career. I may have stayed there longer if there was more alignment with succulent indicators. There's so much missing from traditional financial statements.
Yes, 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 exactly. When you live in a world that says what's easy to measure and we'll maximize that, it goes south, right? When we say, what do we want to maximize? What do we want to be a stand for? And then how do we measure it, even if it's subjective? Things go a very different direction. Okay, now, how do we generate that sustainability? It's got to be by communicating with people. And so I call the quote marketing department joyful communication. And I generally put it at that 2 o'clock circle on the diagram. So the inward part of this communication is for me to communicate with myself, for me to communicate with the soul of my business. Who are we here for? Who are we really here to serve? Who's the most fun to serve? Who do I feel the most called to serve? Who most needs this? Who's most ready to accept this? Right? If you imagine somebody on a journey in your business and they start at -10, right? They're in a dysfunctional state and they work their way up to neutral, and they have the possibility of going all the way to exceptional, a +10. doubt that your work is -10 to +10, right? Usually, some people take people up to neutral, and other businesses take them from neutral to first or second gear. And then other businesses take them from, okay, at least I'm rolling to overdrive. So, where is it that you really fit in on their overall life journey? And at that point, what do they want? Well, they want this and this and this. Great. Why do they want that? What do they really want? Oh, what they really want is underneath that is this and this and this. Uh-huh. And why do they want that? Right? This is the five whys. Take it down 5 levels deep to really get that clarity between me and my business, between our souls, right? Our souls are already connected. Could we bring that down to the conscious level, please? So that this incarnate part that actually has the physical voice, that writes that content, knows what it is that we're conveying. What is it that we want to communicate? And then, how do I reach out to them? Where do we meet? Where are the places that I love to be and the places that they love to be? That we both are enjoying it so that we can meet there. Because if I have to go to places I hate, I'm going to burn out, right? So we're back to I'm the one who's going to show up doing these kinds of things. I'll give you guys a hint. I will never be on Clubhouse. I don't care how big the market is. I don't care how well that works. Auditory only is not a happy place for me. I don't have to go there. I'm going to choose the strategies that work for me because I'm not wrong. I am divinely designed for what I'm here to do. And when you realize that your personality is not an accident, you are divinely designed for what you're here to do in the particular way that you're here to do it, you can start to celebrate that. No, you don't have to be everywhere for all the people all the time. You do you. You get to do the things that light you up. Because when you are in those areas that light you up, that outward visibility is a lot more fun. And when you're having fun, guess what? You're much more attractive. Have you ever felt like somebody was at one of those networking mingle mixer meetings doing the what do you do statements around the table, and they look like they're in torture? It's not attractive, right? As opposed to somebody else who actually that is their happy place and they show up and they're at ease and they give their message, right? That's much more attractive. It's not that the first person is doing bad things or isn't good at what they're doing or whatever. They've just picked a strategy that actually isn't serving them. It isn't aligned for their divine design. So when you can show up in this place where you're taking good care of yourself as you express, right, joyful communication, you get this sense of it's okay. I like this person. I trust them. I actually want to work with this person. And when you've thought through what your people want and what they really want and what they really want, they think, oh, you get me. Wow, I finally found somebody who gets me. I want to work with that person. So, in this circle on your diagram, the question that I would write is what formats provide spaces that make us both happy, my people and me, so that we're both showing up? A little different approach to a marketing strategy. Yes, you have to have a marketing strategy. You're going to like wallow if you don't. But a business plan is so much more. All right, so the next part, creatively, how am I going to deliver this wonderfulness? Right? I've communicated it. How am I going to deliver it? What is it that I want to build? How do I want to design my products and my delivery and package things? Some people lump that into the marketing strategy, like what is your packaging? But truth is, traditionally, that would be where your R&D comes in. What other things are possible? How could that be put together? What is the curriculum? The overall stringing things together, not just the individual sessions. So I call this your exuberant creativity. And this is a place based, especially for us creatives, right? And that's mostly who I work with. I work with the people who are multi passionate. They have more creative ideas springing out of their heads than they could possibly implement. And it's a matter of capturing them and finding the commonality and then looking at the match between all those creative ideas and coming back into that vision, right? All the circles are connected to the vision. What was energetically that vision? What is that change that I'm making in the world? And you know what? You can't change the world until you can change a life. And you can't change a life until you can change somebody's day. And so, how is it that my exuberant creativity overlaps with being able to touch somebody's day? And that's going to help me know what to design and how to package it. And when I do it with that alignment in mind, people get excited. It shows up and they're like, oh, yeah, that's actually the way I want that. I want that today. So in this circle, I would write, what are the experiences I want to generate for people to experience my outcome? What are the experiences I want them to have along the way? And again, it's qualitative as well as quantitative. Right? And then we get to the actual delivery, right? For me, this is the solar plexus. This is shining that light into the world and actually getting to be present with my clients, getting to have them have that one aha moment, have that one tool that actually lets them get their shit together. I'm just going to say it, right? So that they can make their difference in the world. Right? And to celebrate that delivery, what are the dates that I'm going to put on this? What are the steps that I take people through? And how do I celebrate those steps? How do I acknowledge both myself and my clients? Dang, I know that was hard for you, and you stuck with it and you did it. How do we celebrate and appreciate what's actually happening in the business world as opposed to constant, like in corporate, the criticism and the what else can we improve on? That's not celebration. Celebration is looking at what is going well and how do we expand that? How does that overflow? Okay. When we are giving from that overflow and we have that creative energy that's flowing into delivering it for our clients, they have a sense, oh, they know the path that I'm on, they've got my back. They can see what it is that I'm doing and that it's hard for me sometimes and they appreciate me. I get that not just accountability of like, you did this, you didn't do that, but that emotional access of, and it matters. So, celebrating delivery, the question that goes with that is, how are you actually walking your path? Now we get to the supportive systems, right? This is my playground. In my ideal world, I would get to be like a personal shopper for tech and design systems for people. I love this. I understand that normal people don't love this. It's a rather odd place for my creativity to express, but here it is. And this is why I get to share it with other creative entrepreneurs. So when I look at how are these supportive systems going to be built into my business, how do I track working with the people that I love? and making sure that they're having their outcomes? How do I look at their progress? How do I manage my finances as easily as possible? Like, yes, I want my numbers and I want to know what's going on, but that's not my full-time job. That's not what I want to be doing all the time, right? When I have these systems at my back, it starts with tech, right? What can I automate? And then it comes out in team. What can I delegate? Again, I'm able to give from the overflow of my attention. The details are handled. The system tells me, like it brings to the surface the information that I need just in time. The system has my back, so I have my client's back. So the fun question for this one is, where can I make keeping track of stuff into a game, right? Seriously, like the chart on the refrigerator with gold stickers. Now I can have a chart on my Excel spreadsheet with gold stickers. I can do that. I can do that. Finally, we're looking at the heart chakra of our business. And the truth is, it's self love and self care. I call it inner adventures. And that is, what is my vision inviting me to become? What growth is not required, invited in terms of learning classes, right? There's knowledge, but there's also growth in terms of my capacity, my ability to hold more people, to take them deeper, to have a wider impact in the world. What skills and capacity do I actually want to be investing in order to serve more because I can hold more, right? I have become, personally, I look at business as my path to soul growth. Business as path. What is it that I'm invited into for my soul by participating in my own business? And when I'm taking it with that level myself, then on the outward side, I'm much more consistent. I'm willing to stand in my authenticity, in my vulnerability, get things wrong, grow out of things that I've done in the past and into new realms. And when I do that with transparency, I build trust with my people. It's not about hiding and getting it all perfect and then just showing the world. It's about inviting everyone I encounter to also have their business be a path for becoming more of their soul's intention and holding a wider capacity in the world. So, the question that I invite you to put in that circle is, who are you becoming through your journey with your business? And that makes 7 chakras of your business's soul. Now, I like to think about my business having kind of a guardian angel for each one of these areas, a way that I can ask that part of my business, just like I have parts, right? Part of me wants to do it, part of me doesn't want to do it. Sometimes I have those parts talk to each other. I'm not crazy. It's actually a useful exercise. But I can also communicate with parts of my business. I have them sit at this round table where the vision, the CEO, right, the inspired vision of my business is like the holy grail that we're all cooperating in moving toward, in advancing into the world. And how does each of these goddesses of my round table, my advisory board in my business, how did they help me and support me and give me very clear guidance so that I'm staying in alignment with that vibrational essence of the soul of my business, not just the words on the paper, but actually staying with it and moving it forward. All right. So what I'm proposing here is that there's awakening on an economic level. It's not just that each of us is awakening to pure consciousness. It's also that business is awakening in its ability to be a powerful force on our planet, in community, in that economic weaving, so that it's doing more good and actually gets to be more profitable and being creative, regenerative on our planet. So, my question to you is, could you see your business as actually being a force for good in the economy where you play? That's a real question. I want you to put it in the chat. Could you see your business waking up to the good that it is achieving in your economy? And I'm going to invite Jean to come back on and let us know what people are seeing with that question.
Beautiful. And so there's been a lot of resonance with a lot of the things that you've been saying, and I actually didn't want to stop you. So, but actually, I thought one of the funny things was around Clubhouse, like a whole bunch of the creative visual people were like, "Oh no, we're not doing Clubhouse." So
Good.
apparently, you're not the only one on that, which is pretty. Um, I guess in our visual world, that's kind of the deal. And games, of course, when you're talking about can we make systems a game? Yay! Yes, we all want gold stars. It's true. So absolutely got some response around that, and lots of ideas, and can't implement them all. Like all those kind of things are what's showing up here. I want to experience it so others receive me authentically, the magic of me. Yes, that's, yeah, from Beth.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was really beautiful. Um, yeah, and here's what we're getting on as your response. We're getting yes, yes, I can, absolutely, yes, 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 absolutely, positively. What I'm trying to read that, Steve. I'm sure it's a very fun saying, and I can't read it on the side of my computer in that teeny print. Heck yes, we got a heck yes too. Beautiful, awesome.
Awesome. Yay. So, I hope you guys are knowing that I'm going to invite you to make a business plan, right? Now, if you feel like you have enough information with those circles and the key questions, that's awesome. And there's more. There's more. So, here's the thing. Your business deserves something beautiful. Your business deserves something creative and something that's going to continue to grow with it. So I would hope that you're not going to be building like a camping emergency shelter when you could be building a palace. Are we looking to build an empire at this point? And, what's my path to seven figures? No, no. What we're looking at is that energetic quality of being able to know that the systems and structures and strategies that I am creating for my business actually align with that energetic essence, with my energetic essence, my soul, and with the soul of what my business wants to have. And that's why I've created this process of purpositivity business planning. And Jean has made it into a challenge because Jean is obviously the queen of making things fun. So, what I want to be able to do together is set it up so that you know exactly where you stand and what your next step is. The ultimate thing that's going to happen in 10 years, we cannot know that yet. Anybody who puts that kind of stuff down on paper is writing out a dream. That's wonderful. But that's not a plan because the world changes, we change, the circumstances change, new things become possible, right? And so, what I want to be able to have us create is a business plan that's set up for evolution, that's set up so that it has that dashboard of how do I monitor where I am and where I'm going, but also allows us to know, oh, as I feel something new emerging, oh, that's a new thing in the area of technology. That belongs in my systems chapter or whatever sections you want to have in your business plan. That belongs in my joyful communications. I could deliver it this way. I'm going to put that note here under exuberant creativity. I may never do it, but that's where it lives. And so by having a place to capture this, we get to actually be more functional. We get to be freer in that we don't have to hold it all in our heads. Right? So if you find that at this point, like you're spending time and money trying to get all the tools and try the new techniques and it doesn't work for me, right? Because the truth is, not all techniques work for all people. I don't know if you've noticed that yet. Not everything is going to be your size. That's a good thing. Remember, we're all different for a purpose because that's what allows us to fit together and collaborate and so on. But when that comes out as a message of I should be doing all these things or you'll never succeed without this thing, it just drains us. It leaves us feeling like confused. I've got this piece and I've got that piece, and where does this fit in? Well, I don't know. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm going to go eat ice cream, or I'm going to go work out, or I'm going to go watch Netflix. Whatever my escapism is, right? That doesn't serve you, doesn't serve your business, doesn't serve your purpose. It's lovely to be able to rest sometimes. It's important to know when to rest. But when I'm escaping, that's a different thing entirely. So rather than having my business be the thing I'm escaping from, I want my business to be my path of expanding my capacity. And what we're going to do in the challenge is go back and walk through each of these 7 areas of the business to know, what does alignment really look like? How do I know what alignment feels like? And of all the things that I could be doing, which ones are actually the essence of alignment for me and for this business? So as we walk through those and we have different shapes and diagrams and models to play with and get the visual of how things fit together, we're also going to have the time to actually get it down on paper, right? The idea is some talky time and some creative space to actually land it and not wander away and forget to do it or avoid coming back. That's why we're having a challenge, so that it's a container in which we all get to play and get it done together. Now, what I'm going to do is also go through or provide you with a set of visualizations. I said for me, I have an advisor for each of those areas. And I have wonderful goddess advisors for each area of my business. And I'm going to provide you with those visualizations so that you can connect with your advisors and tap in to what they have. Right? So you've got what your intellect already knows, and generally the intellect wants to be heard first. So we'll get all that down. And then we're going to tap in to the intuitive, the subconscious, the collective, and have those inner advisors correct course or fill in the gaps so that we really know what it is that is our current direction and our current expanding capacity. What's the frontier right now? And where am I working it? Yeah. And then we'll have Q&A time to actually sit and talk back and forth. Like I'll be able to see you and everything and say, what is that edge, that frontier? What do I think is holding me back? What is it that I would just need to tip that would set me free, that would allow me to go forward, right? I know not everybody's able to make every session because, we have busy days these days. So everything will be recorded and you can use those recordings. Jean's going to make them available in her portal forever, right? So you'll have those to go back to because if you're like me, you're a serial entrepreneur and this is not your last business. So this business grows and has its life cycle, and something new may come through, and you may want to come back to those recordings and be able to go through it again. And I'll also be providing a complete set of PDFs for a playbook. Now, in my mind, they get printed out and good old fashioned 3-hole punched. So you can put them into a binder. And as you move forward, you have a journal where you can put in new pages. Oh, I had a new idea. Oh, I want to think of it this way. Oh, I'm not doing that anymore, and take them back out. Right? So you can do it in a 3-ring binder. I'll also show you how to do it in Evernote if that interests people, whichever fits you better. It's going to be your place to keep all the good stuff. So this is a little bit more about being able to have your advisory board and your real connection, your journey into being able to meet these goddesses and ask them questions and listen from the heart to what it is the soul wants to say. Now, Jean, bless her heart, right? Jean has added even more into the program. Jean, do you want to talk a little bit about your bonuses? Surprise. You're muted.
Yeah, they're doing construction outside, so I had to mute myself. Of course, I wanted to add some more playfulness inside of here. And so on those we're kind of looking at like these every other day of get the information, start to write it down, and then an integration day. And so what's best to do on an integration day but play? Yes, we're going to play. So we're going to be including the Angels, Peacocks, and Butterflies 100 Days of Miracle game along with this course. And so that is a fabulous bonus that is coming along with this quest and 14-day quest, so that every other day you can play along and play a game to integrate, because we want you to be able to have that playful integration of all of this stuff. The other thing I am adding as a bonus inside of this is a month inside the Dreams in Action Master Club. Now, for those of you who are watching this and you're already in the Dreams in Action Master Club, of course, you know that all of this is included in the Master Club for you already. So, woohoo! Get excited because you're getting this full 14-day quest inside the Master Club. And if you're coming into this program, and this is the first thing that you're in, or you were in the club before and now you're joining back in, following this 14-day quest, you'll also get a month in the Dreams in Action Master Club. And what is the Dreams in Action Master Club? It is a container that allows you to both get things done, be in a community of support, and get a ton of incredibly cool training that is around building your own games and your own decks, and some of the hands-on stuff on how do you market that? How do you set up your program? How do you make money from your online courses? How do you make a creative business work? And so it's a whole library of trainings inside there as well. So weekly get it done sessions as well as weekly Q&As. So it is a very high touch, lovely community that is an exciting place to be. So we are including that. And then there's a little chicken. Thank you for pointing out the chicken. So, what is it about the chickens? I love chickens. I can't explain it why I love chickens, but I do love chickens. When I would go to the state fair when I was a kid, I didn't want to go to the cow barn. I wanted to go to the chicken barn because they had the funny, cute, adorable chickens. I know some of you want to go to the bunny barns. Now the bunny barns are almost as good, but yes, but the chicken barns, I don't know. There's something about it. And some of you know actually that I'm in the process also of writing a children's book where the main character is also a chicken. And inside of this mode, I have decided that I truly, truly want to support women who raise chickens and empower women around the world. And there's an incredible organization called kiva.org. If you have not heard of it, it is a loaning organization where you can make a loan for as little as $25 and it helps someone build a business. Now, they actually pay back the loan, and when the loan is paid back, you can loan it out to someone else. It's called a microloan, and it allows people to really get financing in a lot of times in undeveloped countries that's impossible to do. And so this is set up in a supportive container so that they actually have a team that helps them. And so we have picked out a bunch of women-owned chicken farmers to up level the vibration of love in the world. And so we've created a team on kiva.org that you can join, and then you can also be part of that team as well. It's an optional add-on, but it's really fun, and we'll do it together.
So there's a lot going on here, and we want to invite you to join us. Jean, do you have a link you can drop
I
in?
do have the link. Let me put that in right now. There it goes. It is now in the chat. And so
Right?
that is the place you can click right on it. And here's the
Yep.
details, right?
Right? We're actually going to run this challenge for 14 days, starting in mid-May. So you got time to make space for
Integrate
it.
this. That's right.
Yeah, and actually then during it, have time to integrate 1 day of content and then a day of integration and Q&A and just getting it done, getting it down, right? And the lives will be at 10 a.m. Pacific. And there's recordings, right? Because the
Yep.
chance of anybody being available every day is not that high. So we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to have access to the information. And of course, you will have it then in Jean's library ongoing. And the investment for the 14-day challenge with the meditations, the walkthrough, and the playbook, and the games and the master club is only $222, which I think is just, Jane, thank you so much for making it available at that level.
Yeah, we had this long conversation and saying, okay, well, this is really a huge business class, and yet we wanted to make it accessible to all of you. And to lower the price to this point, just, I had the sale, honestly, I had the sales page up and I had it at a much, much higher level. And we kept having these conversations, and I put it down a little bit. And we're like, can we make it lower? Is it possible to make this just a little bit lower? Okay, let's go down a little more and keep going down. So I really feel like this is an amazing value for what you're going to get. You get both Karen and I for 14 days. Oh my gosh. And truly, this is one of the coolest things that I've ever offered inside of the club. And again, for those of you in the club, you get it. And for those of you who are kind of like, ooh, what is the club? You can join into this. You'll get a whole free month inside the club to try it out and see if that's something that you'd like to continue with us ongoingly. But it's always um, at your leisure. You get to choose. Make it easy and fun. If you have questions, of course, you can type them right here in the chat. We'll get to all of them. If you have them later, like you're looking through the page and you're like, oh, but what about this thing? Go ahead. You can find us both on Facebook. You send us a messenger there or reply to the email that has come out to you with the information here. Absolutely. We will answer all your questions as well. And I'm just really excited to see you all in there.
Right? Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's the end of my slides, so you can make those go
Okay,
away. And
excellent.
I want to know if there are any
Brilliant.
questions in the chat.
Beautiful. All right, we're getting a wonderful thank you so much.
Oh,
Oh, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I'm writing a children's book. He's saying that that'll be magical. Yeah, very excited about that. Awesome. We get champagne glasses from people in the master club saying, "Yes, we get this." Pretty cool. Pretty cool on that. So no straight up questions yet, so that's cool. See, we've been clear. I'm always happy about that.
right.
Happy that
Yeah.
we've been clear. So I am so glad that you were able to join us here today in this beautiful training. Thank you so much, Karen. You know, I have tons of takeaways from this, so many different things to dive in. And I'm actually looking forward to using that 14 days inside my own business. Like, let's refine that. Let's move that along. You know, what will this look like? And I'm really excited about this.
Good, good.
All right. Nope. Lots of magnificence, awesomeness, and thank you, ladies. So, um,
Oh,
thank you
great.
all again. Yes. So this video will be available also in the club and right here. You can use this same link inside of YouTube. Once we're done, it will be here in a replay. It won't be in a public replay, but if you have the link, you can still get back and watch it again here. So both here inside YouTube, you can use that exact same link that took you here, or you can watch it inside of our portal, the Master Club portal as well.
Excellent.
All right. Lisa says, really interesting. I love how you connected it to the chakras. I can envision my new business with clarity after your presentation. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And just sure, Angie, if you want to, in fact, you know what? I'll put the slides inside the Master Club as well. Karen, can you share the slide link with me? And I'll go ahead and just
Yeah.
put the slides from this presentation right in the Master Club. So those of you in the Master Club who want to review any of the questions or slides, you can do that there as well.
Yeah. It was a little dense.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, thank you again all for hanging out with us today. And thank you, Karen, for this beautiful, amazing training. And for those of you who have questions, shoot them in here. For those of you in the Master Club, of course, we'll see you in the Master Club. And we would look forward to this amazing quest. All right.
Let's play together. Yay.
Beautiful. And done.